A very good afternoon to you, wherever you are. Thank you for joining us on this Monday afternoon on your favorite sports show, Pitchside, on the station where you look and live, Hope TV. My name is Victor Muye. I am your host for this afternoon. I am joined on set by a very good colleague of mine, Richard Ohalo. How are you doing, Mr. Richard?
I'm good.
A heavy sporting weekend, both locally and abroad. We saw a lot of upsets. If we are that did not meet their, with a lot of high expectations that were not met.
Yeah.
Would you agree with me, Richard?
Yes, I agree.
Starting off with the Sakafa Under-18 tournament held in Kisumu, where the host Kenya lost to Uganda on post-match penalties. Let's see how that went.
Yanarejea. Nam pumzi zinashushwa sasa. Wanaingia. Musa! Saifa Sowori mtazamaji. Anasema nilifanya kitu kimoja hapa. Hiki nakifanya cha pili. Saifa Sowori anawauliza mimi ni nani? Nyinyi ni kina nani? Hapa ni wapi? Hapa ni Kisumu. Nyinyi ni wa Kenya na sisi ni wa Kenya. Sasa ni kazi ya kuchomekea. Sasa ni kazi ya kuchomekea. Chomekea kila mmoja ulipo. Alafu cheza kidogo, ringa kidogo, onyesha maringo kidogo. Waganda inapigwa huko. Wananyamazwa hapa. Wananyamazishwa wa Kenya. Waganda wanakuja wanarudi mchezoni. Makosa yanafanyika hapa. Ilipigwa si ngumu, si rahisi, lakini mwisho siku Batibo Okelo akasema ninachojua kufanya mimi tu ni kupiga tu. Ibrahim Wanzala akashindwa kutoa. Dakika 12 zikisalia, Kenya 1, Uganda 1. Alex Yiga, Travis Mutiaba anaipenyeza kumtafuta Dennis Kisiriko. Frank Katongole kushoto huku, wanaingia Uganda. Yiga kipa cha bado ale sekunde 50 tu. Makosa mengine yanafanyika kwenye defense ya Kenya. Wanawaambia mlichomekea, sisi tunachomekea. Mukarusha, sisi tunarusha. Sekunde 50 za dakika 15 za kwanza. Angalia hapa, Kenya 1, Uganda 2.
Angalia mahali ngoma ile ilitokea, Alex Yiga akicheza kujituma zaidi na
ama ni rais wa TFF Wallace Karia. Na sasa Uganda na ni rasmi mtazamaji kwamba Uganda ndio mabingwa wa Sekafa kwa mwaka wa 2023, wachezaji wasiopitiliza umri wa miaka 18.
There we have it, the Sekafa Under-18 tournament held in Kisumu, where Kenya lost to our neighbors Uganda, perennial enemies. What do you make of that, Richie?
Actually, the game was very fantastic, let me say, and very entertaining. But the boys really tried what they could to secure a win. But Uganda were powerful.
Yes.
And what I'll say, kudos to the boys. It's a new beginning for Kenya. Maybe we wait for maybe next year. We see what they can do most. But again, there were speculations here and there, but we cannot count that now.
Yes.
Eventually, Uganda, congratulations to them.
Yeah.
And let's hope next year Kenya will emerge winners.
What do you make of Kenya scoring let's say late in the second half and
Yes.
conceding a few minutes later, not even a victory that they held on to for more than 10 minutes,
Yes.
it seems.
Yeah, I think.
What do you think went wrong in that situation?
What went wrong is I'll say, is team selection. And two, Uganda were more physically strong than Kenya, and in the second half they dominated the game most of the time, and that's what went wrong with Kenya. Yes.
But also good news for Kenya, where we see that Kenyan striker Aldrin Kibet won the Golden Boot for the whole tournament.
Yes.
Congratulations to the young man. And of course, what do you think is in store for both the Kenya and the Uganda under-18s moving forward? Do you see some of these players making it into the senior squad? What is the future for Sekafa? Even Sekafa as a tournament, having diversified from the Sekafa senior tournament to now the under-18 and the women's tournament and so on and so forth.
I don't know what is happening right now, but compared to last year and other years, I think Sekafa, they have now woken up, because right now as we speak, there is the school African Championship going on at Kasarani, organized by Sekafa, which is good. There is an under 15 championship that is coming up in few or maybe next year. Now we are seeing under 18. I hope we'll have under 20 and under 23 as usually done. I think Sekafa are doing well, and for Adrian Kibet, I'll say during the school games he performed well. He managed to secure a scholarship to Spain, that is Nastic Academy. Is really doing well. Also, emerging star from Sekafa, one is, I'll mention Tyrone Kibet.
Yes.
No, not Tyrone Karaoke, who was a star in that championship also. That is to see or to mention that Kenya, we have good boys for the future.
Yes.
Yes.
And of course, Tanzania beating Rwanda to secure the third spot.
Yeah.
And Rwanda finishing fourth in the just concluded Sekafa under-18 tournament held in Kisumu. As you mentioned, the Sekafa school tournament organized is currently ongoing at the Kasarani, the Moi Center Kasarani. What do you think about the whole idea of now diversifying Sekafa into now the school championships and more categories that we have?
Before I delve into the African Championship, the school, let me mention this. And people were speaking about around what happened during the under 18 Sekafa. People were saying Uganda fielded overage players.
As is always the speculation with this.
But again, what do you think of that?
I think I let me say from my own experience.
Yes.
Having played in high school, having participated in high school sports.
Yeah.
Up to I think just the last, I don't know, the provincial step.
Yes.
That's the last one before the nationals.
Yes.
From how I see things, I think there are, when we look at internationally, I think teams are allowed to field, I think, 1 or 2 senior players.
But this one was different.
I was even watching the under 17.
I did not see any part saying that you are allowed to field 2 or 3.
Yes.
But I know of the under 23.
Yes.
That happens.
Yeah, they're allowed to field a senior player.
Yeah,
I think 2 senior players.
Yes. But
So-
this one is specifically under 18.
I think for me, I would say I have, as I was saying, having participated in high school sports.
Yes.
There is more times, more than one time, where you meet somebody and you're being told that they have been in Form 2 since for the last 3 years.
Yes.
And one that makes you wonder whether they really are supposed to be even playing in the high school games.
Yeah.
And so I think it's also a speculation that has also crowded and tarnished African players' names when they go on to play internationally, where they are accused of maybe not giving their correct birth dates, and so having backtracking. So you were born in 1995, but your birth certificate says you were born in 1999, which means that you're going to be younger on paper than you actually really are. I think that happens, but I think it's something for starting at the regional levels, at the grassroots levels, starting at the school level, starting at the national games, and so on and so forth. It's something that we need to cap down on, and to ensure that the integrity of the sport is maintained. If you have under 18, let all the players be under 18. I don't know whether after you've turned 18 you can play. Yeah. I don't know about if there's such a rule. Let's say your birthday was you've been in camp, and then you turned 18 in November, and now it's December and the tournament is starting. Or if you turn 18 when you're playing the tournament, how do we handle those things? I am not sure, but I'm sure the sports jurists are out there, and there are people who can be able to articulate that. So I don't know whether what the rules are concerning all of that.
I hope in future the federation and the concerned committee or the body will look into that. But again, going back to Kenya's selection of players, Tyrone Kariuki and Adrian Kibet came in at the second half. There is speculation saying that there were a fight between the technical bench and the coach. Why he started our two main players at the second half instead of them starting the match.
The Golden Boot winner.
Yes. So what do you think?
I think when it comes to selection, selection is one of the trickiest things a coach can undertake, because you're always looking at the game plan, and even if a player has been exceptional in certain games or throughout the tournament, you cannot depend on them to be, or you cannot gauge how dependable they will be come another game. So you might look at the way Uganda is fielding. You might feel that you need a stronger, bigger player as your striker, which goes against the players that you have been fielding. You have been playing very well, but your size is questionable at this point. So let's bring in somebody bigger and see how that works out. And of course, I think, but for Kenya, in Kenya's case, I think that was the wrong selection, because leaving your highest scorer on the bench, not even your highest scorer, the tournament's highest scorer on the bench for the first half, may have done even damage in terms of morale and what the confidence of the team going in, because there's such a thing as having your best player on the field and knowing that you're in good hands. And that may have been the case with the Kenyans as now scoring in the second half, and of course not holding on to that lead and ultimately going on to lose on penalties. So I think when it comes to team selection, I don't know what the coaches were seeing or what the coaches saw, because it would seem as a no-brainer to have Adrian Kibet start the game, but of course the coaches did not see it that way, and those, I think maybe we did pay as a Kenyan team. Maybe we did pay for those mistakes.
I think the coach has learned from his mistakes. You had asked about the African School Football Championship that is going on in Kasarani. And before we came in to this program, Kenya were leading Rwanda with 2-0. That is school games continuing. I think now it's Tanzania playing. I don't know if my director can confirm that for me. But again, looking at these matches, Kenya were really playing very well against Rwanda. And I had identified one player, that is Faith Boke. A really good player who I know coaches, national team coaches are there. They can scout her, and
My question is, from all this conversation about the youngsters and the ongoing youngsters tournaments,
Yes.
what is the disconnect when we see such high talent at the lower levels? How come it doesn't translate to the national level, or rather always translate to the national levels most of the times? What happens between the junior and the senior levels where we lose talent, or the cohesion of the team? Because you will expect that the way the Kenya under-18s are playing right now, they will graduate to the under-23s and maybe graduate into the senior team, or even if not all of them, a majority of them will graduate and make it have. We have seen how well you play. They understand each other. There's cohesion.
Yeah.
There's chemistry. What do you think happens in between that transition?
I think we fail in scouting and also follow up. You see, we've been seeing good players playing when they go to higher level, or maybe playing in Europe. We don't follow up on them. That is one. And again, another thing is scouting. We don't scout them again and
Yes.
again. I think that is also follow up. So that I think that's the gap that we need to fill. Our system does not allow us to bring these new players to the national team.
Yes.
Again, we've been having wrangles within the federation and within the coaching staff and the management staff in terms of selection.
Selection.
Yeah, selection. When I say selection is, you see, the federation comes in to select the players they want, and you see, when we have coaches who does not have the mandate or the power
Yeah.
to select players, then again that follow up and scouting does not come in.
Yes.
So that's where I think we fail so much, because Kenya has talent.
Yes.
If you look around Europe and also around Kenya right now, I'm very sure if our coaches, both the under 15, under 18, under 20, under 23, and the national team, both girls and boys, when they do their work diligently, I know we can have a very good team, and that's what affects Kenya most in terms of selection, and bringing up new talents.
Yes, the selection obviously has been something where we see questionable selections and even leaving out of key players or who we think are key players.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, where does the mandate lie? Does it lie with the coach, or does it lie with the federation when it comes to selecting team players?
Yeah.
And of course, that brings in the question of vested interest and
Yeah.
of course all these other conversations that have been had ever since time immemorial concerning the selection of players in the national team.
Yeah.
Speaking of the national teams, we have the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, where the Starlets failed to deliver by not failing to score a crucial penalty.
Yeah.
Once again, this is another chance lost maybe for the women, for the Starlets. What do you think happened here, Richard?
Kenya losing, not scoring the two penalties. We got a penalty here in Kenya, and also we got a penalty in Botswana.
Yes.
I think that was the beginning of our downfall, not scoring the penalty that we got here at Nyayo Stadium.
Yes.
And again, I come again, team selection.
Yes. Team selection once again.
I noticed a player known as is it Elizabeth Wamboi, who was playing in the first leg. He played really well in the first half.
Yes.
In the first half. Then in the second half, he was substituted to give another player a chance.
Yes.
And in the first half, she was our outstanding player. So I think that's our downfall. Another thing that I noticed from the first leg is the substitution of Dogo. Dogo came out.
Yes.
And she was a threat to Botswana, and she was withdrawn. So I don't know what is happening. That is maybe in the second half, Botswana really played well. In the second leg, that is, really played well. Reason is they were at home, they were confident,
Yeah.
and coming out with a draw in Kenya, I
Yes.
think that gave them that confidence of winning the game, the second leg. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course. What do you think Beldino Demba has to do when it comes to the games that are going to be held in? What do you think is the next step forward for Beldino Demba, given that so close, and now we see that maybe it's a wasted opportunity? What do you think she has to do? What changes does she have to make to the team, to the squad moving forward, and looking forward into the next tournaments?
I think building is overworked. I mean, say overworked is she handles the national team, she handles the under-18 national team, she handles police, that is the Bullets,
Yes.
and also she's a coach at one of the academies. See, those are four jobs,
4 jobs.
for one person.
Yes.
So I think she's overworked. For a national team,
Yeah.
let me give an example, like someone like Southgate. Southgate only focus is the national team, that is England.
Yes.
So for Beldin, she has no time to do her work properly.
Yes.
So that is one thing that is I think the federation is failing to do. Yeah.
We're speaking about missed penalty
Yeah.
kicks and missed opportunities to score goals off of penalties. But why can't we score open clear goals, and just why can't we develop strikers to be able to score when they are called upon, and not come to rely so heavily on penalties, and especially in crucial moments? Of course, it is the way of the game to score penalties and to rely on penalties, but why can't we be talking about how we missed open play chances instead of penalties?
I would say that is we missed those two penalties because of lack of training. If you watch the first leg match, the goal that Botswana scored, that was not. If we had a proper goalkeeper,
Yes.
or good training to a goalkeeper, that ball wouldn't have gone in. Botswana wouldn't have scored. Again, going back to the penalties, I would say lack of training. If we don't train on penalties, then we can't score them.
Yes.
Yes.
Of course, we always, or rather, I always talk about
Yeah.
cohesion and chemistry.
Yeah, and chemistry.
And
like if you look at the team, I think they train for the two legs. They only train for, I think, 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is not sufficient.
That is not
training.
enough for a girls team or ladies team to train.
From
I think they need a maximum of 1 month
Yes.
training, have more friendlies. Yeah.
As a pundit and a fan of the game,
Yeah.
what, apart from expanding training time and making sure that people train for long,
Yeah.
what other activities can be put in place to ensure that cohesion is built, and that togetherness, that camaraderie that allows us to play as one, to move as one, and also the place for personal training, the place for individual training. As a goalkeeper, I need to practice how to deal with various situations. As a striker, I need to know how to take penalty kicks,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. How do we achieve this in view of now being that you have to be good individually, and now when you come together, you have to also perform as a unit? What do you think needs to be done moving forward?
Other activities. One, what is the federation doing? What is the technical team doing in terms of scouting? This is very important, because you might have players, others playing in Europe, others playing locally, but you don't scout them. You
Yes.
don't follow up on them. You don't know how their progress. You know, someone might be in Europe, but all the time yuko bench.
Yes.
All the time he or she doesn't play like 90 minutes, or he or she performs poorly when given a chance.
Yes.
So one is scouting. Other activities, give them room to gel, that is outside the pitch. you can identify. People have friends
Yes.
around the camp, so this person relates good. So that relationship of players need to be a standard thing when we
Yes.
look at when we are selecting a squad. Yeah.
Yes. So, looking at the Kenya Premier League, moving
Yeah.
on to the Kenya Premier League, where we saw Kakamega Homeboys beat Shabana 2-0.
Yeah.
Tusker and Posta Rangers came out to a 0-0 draw.
Yeah.
Bidco United edged out AFC Leopards 2-1. And then we have Sofapaka and Kariobangi Sharks 2-1. Of course, this leaves the Kenya Premier League with Gor Mahia at the top, the Kakamega Homeboys playing second, and Posta Rangers third. Perennial AFC Leopards are still struggling. They are out of the relegation zone, but they are still not doing very well with one win out of their 14 matches. Richard, what is happening to the AFC Leopards?
I've been saying here over and over and over again. I'm saying today, if a team wants to succeed, don't change your coach.
Yes.
I think AFC wamekuwa na so many coaches this year. I don't know how many. I don't have the counts.
Yeah.
But if you change your coach over and over again, you won't have good results.
Yeah.
That is one. I think that is what is affecting AFC Leopard
Yes.
and other teams.
And
that
all
do
other,
this.
and other teams.
Yeah.
Of course, at the top, it's getting really tight with Gor Mahia sitting number 1 at 28 points, but Kakamega Homeboys are right there behind them with 27 points. It's
Yeah.
really it's getting really competitive as we come to the end of the first half of the season.
Yeah.
What do you think, Homeboys, and what do you think so far? Who is the most promising to hold on and win this race, this title race of the KPL?
I'll say Gor Mahia. This is one because of experience. One, they don't change their coaches over and over again.
Yes.
So I think they have been consistent. If you look at the standing, Gor Mahia hasn't lost any game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know. I think Gor Mahia will come out as winners again this
This
season. Yes.
Do you think maybe some of the dominance we have seen over the years is that good for the sport, and maybe how we can always maybe predict where how some teams will perform, and of course
No, it is. Let me say it is not healthy. If we say that Gor Mahia is going to win,
yes,
or obviously Gor Mahia is going to win, this is because a league should be competitive. For example, if you look at English Premier League right now, you wouldn't know who is going to win
yes
at this moment.
yes
But coming back to Kenya, obviously, if it is not Gor Mahia, if it's not Tusker FC, then that is not healthy. We need to have a competitive league.
yes
We need to have an exciting league that when let's say we play like 10 matches, we will not be knowing who is going to win the league. So other teams need to tighten their belt. And kudos to Moranga FC. They are really trying. They are newbies in the league.
yes.
And they are really trying. Yes.
Posta Rangers, of course, being held to a 0-0 draw by Tusker FC, therefore failing to at least equal Gor Mahia on points.
Yeah.
And now we have Tusker FC sitting at number 12 on the table with only 4 wins this season. Is there any hope for Tusker FC, or are their glory days behind them?
The Tusker FC hawana hope. Wacha niseme hivyo.
Yes.
From the beginning of the league, they have been having issues with their players and issues with their coach, that is Robert Matano.
Yes.
So catching up with Gor Mahia and Posta Rangers and Homeboys, it will be very tough for them. So I don't see them finishing top 4.
Okay.
Yes.
Speaking of the top 4, we have Gor Mahia number 1 at 28 points, Kakamega Homeboys at 27 points, Posta Rangers 26,
Yeah.
KCB at 24, and of course we have Muhoroni Youth sitting at the bottom with 8 points, Nzoia Sugar at 10, and Shabana at 11. With the way the Premier League is moving,
Yeah.
what is in store for the Kenyans and for the the Premier League fans moving forward? Of course, we have exciting matches coming up.
Yeah.
We have Bidco United and Tusker United and Tusker this on Wednesday. What do you make of that matchup?
Bidco and Tusker.
Yes.
Tusker are below Bidco United. Bidco
Yes.
are 8th with 20 points, and Tusker United are 12 with 16 points. It's going to be tough, but again, I see Bidco coming up with a win here, and if they win this match, they'll go up to the 5th position.
Yes.
If they score more than 2 goals, they'll go up to 5th position. I think Bidco has a chance here of moving forward. For Tusker, a good result will be a draw.
Yeah.
Yes.
A good. It is actually very interesting what
Yes.
Tusker has come to, being that we now expect draws from them and not the always the scoring and winning games as they have seen. Of course, seeing experienced tacticians such as Robert Matano being in difficult situations.
Yes.
Do you think there's any? I know you say there's no hope for the team, but for him, can he do something at least to have an impress? Maybe there won't be anything impressive about the final result for Tusker, but do you think he will maybe not sink as they say?
If he reconciles with his bosses, I think they will perform, or maybe he has issues with the players. Because I know Robert Matano is a very tough coach and a very good coach at the same time.
Yes.
So I think maybe the new players I think they brought like 7 more players in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
So maybe the players they have not understood how Matano is, or how Matano behaves, or maybe the players. So maybe next season, but this season I don't see them finishing 4th.
I also don't think they will finish in the top 4, but I obviously do not expect them to be relegated.
Yes.
We wish them certainly wish them all the best, but of course always exciting news from the Kenya Premier League.
Why don't we speak about Shabana?
Shabana FC. Shabana FC.
Walikuja na moto sala.
But I think maybe we can call it experience. Maybe experience. Maybe he is catching up to them, and of course leaving Shabana to be, where do they sit now? They are number 16.
Number 16, yeah.
On the table.
Playoffs of relegation.
Yes.
So if this is a bad position. So let's see.
Is that your team?
No. My team is not in this league.
Yes.
That is Mathare United. We are leading kule chini, the NSL. We are number 1.
Yes.
So yeah, my team is Mathare United.
Shabana, of course, starting off very hot in the season.
Yeah.
What do you think happened to them now, where the season is right now?
Yeah. I'll say it's management. Because them coming second last season in the National Super League and coming to walikuja na moto. I'll say it's management. I understand kidogo there's a management issues. And maybe another thing that you've mentioned is experience. They don't have that experience of the league. But again, if they survive this, next season they'll be in a good position. Or maybe contending to, because Shabana is a big team.
Yes.
Nikiwa mdogo nilikuwa nasikia Shabana.
Shabana.
So,
yeah. Of course, Shabana FC playing Kakamega Homeboys and losing 2-0, leaving them at the relegation zone, or the playoffs for the relegation.
Yes.
And of course, Kakamega Homeboys securing that win to move to 2nd place in the Premier League. And now moving on to the Olympics, where the selection for the marathon team has been made.
Yeah.
Kenya fielding Eliud Kipchoge, Kelvin Kiptum, Kosgei, and Jepchirchir to headline the marathon team. That is a very strong field,
Yeah.
if I may say,
Yeah.
with, of course, the world record holder Kelvin Kiptum and the immediate former world record holder Eliud Kipchoge, and of course the reigning Olympic champion in Eliud Kipchoge. What do we make of this selection, this team that is going to the Olympics?
I will say this was a very good selection from Kenya Olympic organizing committee for bringing Eliud Kipchoge and Kiptum at the same team. So I see Kenya bagging 1, 2, 3. Go. For sure,
Yes.
for sure. This is a very strong team. It is not a team to joke with.
Yeah.
Because we have a record winner, holder, and also the GOAT himself
Yes.
around. So I see 1, 2, 3 for Kenya. if
Of
they
course,
train well.
we say 1, 2, 3, but who is 1, who is 2, who is 3? Of course, we have the 2 fastest marathon runners ever in history.
I
lining
see
up there against
Kipchoge,
each other.
Kiptum, and the other one I don't want to mention. But
Yes.
1, 2, of course, Kenya will bag 1, 2, 3.
But do you think then between all these, we say it's a strong field. Of course, Kenya is a very proud running nation.
Yeah.
Of course, with Eliud Kipchoge
Yeah.
being, let's say, is he still the reigning marathon, still the reigning marathon king, or has he been overtaken by Kelvin Kiptum?
No, I don't think. I think if you look at the records and future and present, Eliud Kipchoge standouts. Yes.
Do you think any other nation in the world? so
No,
to
in
speak-
terms of marathon right
Yes.
now, maybe the ladies' side,
Yeah.
but the men's side, we have a very strong team. Very, very strong team.
Of course, Kelvin Kiptum running a world record of 2 hours
Yes.
and 35 seconds at the Chicago Marathon.
Yeah.
Are we going to see a sub 2-hour marathon when these juggernauts face off next year in Paris?
Wow. I hope so. I hope so. I hope. I don't want to speculate or maybe mention something which I don't know.
Yes.
But I hope they are going to break the record. 'Cause-
But for the record, you are sure of a 1, 2, 3 Kenya?
yes, I'm sure.
In
That
what
is
order? You're not
Kiptum-
sure.
Okay. You're pushing
you
me
to
to
tell
say
me who is going to win between Kipchoge and
Eliud
Kiptum.
Kipchoge one, Kevin Kiptum, and maybe Geoffrey Kamworor.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, speak still on the marathon.
Yeah.
Do you think Eliud Kipchoge, of course, he is the immediate former world record holder, and of course, having an unofficial and unratified
Yeah.
sub 2-hour marathon
Yeah.
record. Do you think we've seen his performance where his last few performances where he still reigns supreme, but a few races where he's not been able to maybe meet the expectation or the always high expectation of winning. Do you think he has the legs under him, especially with a young Kelvin Kiptum coming to him? Do you think he still has the legs to win the race, even if not run sub 2?
Yeah.
Do you think he can still win the race against such a young field?
I think in terms of experience and experience, I think he can.
Yes.
Yeah, he can defeat Kevin Kiptum. I think he can. This is because Kipchoge has been there. He knows what to do, how to finish, how to start. So yeah, I think he can.
All right.
Yeah.
So of course,
Again, also we have the women marathon list. If I can mention, we have Ruth Kipngetich, Rosemary Wanjiru, Jacqueline Jepkoskei, Sheila Chepkirui, Perez Jepchirchir, Judith Jeptun Korir, and Sally Chepngeno, Kaptich Helen Obiri, Sally Chepngeno Kaptich, Helen Obiri, Sharon Lokedi, and Bridget Koskei.
Another strong field from the Kenyan
Yes.
athlete, from
Yeah.
the Kenya team there. We have Ruth Chepngetich
Yeah.
and Helen Obiri, of course, having won the 2023 Boston Marathon and the New York City Marathon.
Yeah.
Coming in, I think in her debut Olympics at the marathon front, what do you think of the Kenya women's team now?
Also, it's a strong team, but I see Ethiopians pulling a surprise here because over and over in the women marathon, Ethiopia have been coming out very strong.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but again, here I see Helen Obiri performing well, and Bridget Koskei also, and Peres Jepchirchir also.
Don't forget
being-
Ruth Chepngetich, who's the 2019 Women's World Champion across the marathon.
I see here experience coming up again to teach these young athletes a lesson. But yeah, as I've said, I see Helen Obiri winning this.
Maybe a surprise, maybe not a surprise, but Faith Kipyegon, of course, let me say threatening in quotes to join the marathon. The marathon race. What do you think happened here that she did not make the selection for the 2024 marathon? Will it have been too soon, or?
Yeah, it will have been too soon for her to come in for the marathon. I think he has maybe two more years to run, then she can join the marathon.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, of course, looking forward to the 2024 Olympics, which will be held at Paris, France, in the summer of 2024, and hoping and wishing Team Kenya all the best. For now, we wish to go on a break. Don't leave us. We have much more in store. Of course, Man United losing over the weekend.
You had to say that.
At Rashik from Bournemouth. And also Arsenal, sitting at number 2, losing to Aston Villa 1-0. We have this and much more to discuss. Do not turn off the screen.
Yesu ndiye njia.
Mtoto gani katika hii ulimwengu ameitwa Mungu mkuu?
Nasema akasema audhu billahi.
Hata leo usisema audhu billahi, tafadhali usikize.
Yesu ndiye njia, uchambuzi wa masuala tata katika Biblia na vitabu vingine vya kidini.
We don't believe that Christ was crucified. Christ was taken right to heaven by 4 angels, 4 archangels.
Kama Muhammad ndiye alikuwa wa kwanza kuleta dini ya Kiislamu na alikuja after Jesus, sasa inawezekanaje Ibrahimu awe Muislamu, Musa awe Muislamu?
Yesu ndiye njia, jadala wa moja kwa moja kati ya walimu wa Kikristu na dini zingine.
Wanasema Mwenyezi Mungu ana mtoto. Jambo hilo wanasema mmeleta jambo ambalo linachukiza.
Siri ya Mungu ambaye Mungu amejidhihirisha katika mili. Hii yote ni ukafiri.
Mmefanya makosa makubwa sana kusema kwamba Isa ibn Maryam ni Mungu wa pili na Allah ambaye ameumba mbingu na ardhi mkasema ni Mungu wa tatu.
Yesu ndiye njia, Jumamosi kuanzia saa 1:30 jioni kwenye runinga uipendayo ya Hope TV.
Hope TV is where you look and live, with an excellent selection of the best Christian programming consisting of local and international content of inspirational stories, talk shows, Bible commentary, youth, health shows, children entertainment, contemporary gospel music, extended times of worship, live broadcast, news, movies, drama, Christian ministry programs, and so much more. Hope TV is another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries, with over 45% of authentic and credible local content every week. Hope TV is a sister station to Hope FM, Kenya's leading Christian radio station, with footprints across the country. Tune in to Hope TV, where you look and live.
All right, welcome back to Pitchside, your favorite sports show on this glorious, wonderful, this glorious Monday afternoon on Hope TV, the station where you look and live. Now, we are back with more sports, of course, this time moving on to the international scene where we find ourselves in England and the English Premier League ongoing, of course, a weekend of heavy, let's say heavy upsets. We have, first of all, let's get it out of the way. We have Arsenal playing Aston Villa, losing 1-0. And of course, that makes them drop in the table from number 1 to number 2. Liverpool, of course, winning their game against Liverpool, winning their game to take them top of the table. And of course, Man City also beating Luton Town to maintain their number 3 spot. Richard, where do we start with the English Premier League?
Let me start with Manchester United, my team.
Let's start with Manchester United.
For me, that was a surprise. Hey, that was a thrashing of days.
Yes.
Hey, man. I did not watch the whole match. I was very disappointed.
Yes.
But again, hiyo ni hali ya ball. Yeah. Next time we bounce. Yeah.
And of course, Liverpool playing against Crystal Palace, winning 2-1 there to take them top of the league. Does Liverpool have what it takes to see out the rest of now that they are number 1? Do they have what it takes to see out the rest of the league?
Yes. Yes. I think Liverpool are main contenders.
Yes.
And are very, very serious contenders in this league this season.
Yes.
Yes. In the previous show, I mentioned that Arsenal and Liverpool, the two of them,
yes,
maybe
one
of them is going to win the league.
One of them.
Yes.
And of course, speaking of the other contender being Arsenal losing to Aston Villa, who are on a winning spree after also defeating Man City in the previous week on a similar margin of 1 goal to nothing. Now sitting number 3 at the top of the number 3 on the table.
Yeah.
What do you make of Aston Villa and this surge that they seem to be having?
Aston Villa are enjoying right now in expenses of other teams who have been playing midweek.
Yes.
They have more matches than... If you look at last week, also injuries in other teams, I think they have been very fortunate beating Manchester City and also beating Arsenal. But if you look the number of matches that Aston Villa compared to the number of matches Arsenal have been playing, it is not equivalent. So they have been resting. Also, they are a good team,
yes,
but not good. A very good team to contend in winning the league.
Yes.
So it's just a matter of time when this other team recover. When we go into January, when other team will be buying players, then that's when you'll see main contenders. And Aston Villa are not one of them.
I remember during the 2015-16 season, we also said the same thing of Leicester City, where nobody took them seriously. I think up until the last moment.
When Leicester came to the league,
yes,
they had new owners, they had new players. You see, that is different. They were only playing the league.
Yes.
That is the same thing, almost the same thing, what is happening to Aston Villa right now. But, again, let me say, for the records,
yes,
and those who are watching, please take this to the bank. Only Arsenal and Liverpool are going to win the league.
Why are you counting out Manchester City in this?
No, this season Manchester City are not going to win the league. One, because when the league was starting, Pep Guardiola decided to sell Gundogan, who was one of their main players. Mahrez went. There's another player, I can't remember his name, who was very important to them. So also again they have injuries. They depend on De Bruyne so much. That's why they are failing. So I don't see them going far. Maybe top 4 will be good for Pep this season.
I also think top 4 it might be a surprise that they may not make the top 4.
They will make it. They will make it in top 4.
I think once I say there's such a thing, I think, as winners fatigue.
Yeah.
And I think that might be what is catching up with Manchester City.
Yeah.
Maybe they have won too much and have lost sight. Maybe Pep Guardiola has lost sight of what it takes to win a championship.
Yeah.
Of course, you've mentioned the loss of experienced players and the loss of maybe pivotal players.
Yeah.
But now, what can they do to turn their season around? Sitting number 4, at that 3 points, 4 points behind the league leaders, Liverpool.
Yeah.
What do you think has to happen for them between now and January, where, of course, it's a very busy December schedule? What do you think has to happen for them to at least challenge for the title, if at all?
If they seriously want to challenge for the league, they need to buy new players so that they can fill those gaps, and then contend. And
yes. Of course, we have Unai Emery, the coach for Aston Villa.
Yeah.
What do you think his impact is, of course, having coached at high levels at the European level with PSG and also with Arsenal? What experience does he bring that is now helping Aston Villa beat title contenders and also now sit at number 3?
Yeah.
Of course, you're calling it a fluke. It might be something very different come February and March when they're sitting at number 1 and we're still saying, the league has not started yet. Their time is coming to fall.
I think Unai is doing well. He's doing well. This is because his experience. He has coached Arsenal. He has coached Sevilla, if I'm not wrong. He has won the Europa League with Sevilla several times. Yeah, Unai is a good coach, but I don't see them going far. Top 7 is good for them.
Top 7.
Top 7.
Top 7 for the Aston Villa.
The reason why I'm saying that, if you look at the depth of his team, he does not have that depth.
Okay.
Yes. If 2 or 3 players get injured, then again we'll see Aston Villa dropping some few points.
Yes.
Yeah.
And of course, Tottenham playing against Chelsea and beating Chelsea 2-0.
Yeah.
Of course, Joseph Maingi is not here to defend himself.
First of all, Joseph Maingi, last time to Pure Harper, I said, Everton
playing against Chelsea.
But again, let me take you back.
Yes.
Joseph Maingi, last time when we were seated here, I said that Manchester United are going to beat Chelsea. What happened? Manchester United beat Chelsea.
Of course, a confidence boost for Manchester United playing against Chelsea in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
But then to come in and now again lose 3-0 to Bournemouth.
Yeah.
And now, here's the thing with Manchester United. They have not drawn any game. They have played 16
They have
games.
lost 7 matches.
They have lost 7 matches and won 9. So it's a win or lose situation for them. A draw is not in Eric Ten Hag's vocabulary. Do you think this poses a danger to him? Because it seems for many other teams, losing points, at least the top teams, let's talk about the top teams, losing points is drawing. But for Manchester United, losing points is ultimately losing.
Yeah.
What do you think is the?
If I can speak towards that game, Manchester are very poor in coming back in a match. They conceded a very early goal, and that distracted their plans, disjointed the team, and the morale ilienda chini.
Yes.
So Manchester, if you want to win at Manchester United, I'm a Manchester United fan, and if you want to win against Manchester United, score very early.
score very early. They have no way
They
to.
have no that stamina of coming back.
And and Chelsea, Chelsea and Everton, of
Yeah.
course. Chelsea being away and losing 2-0 to a relegation team.
Yeah.
Chelsea losing to a relegation team. Of course, Everton, they could have been much better, of course, after being hit with a financial fair play penalty and having deducted 10 points. Now sit at number 17, of course, just outside the relegation zone. Do you think they will make it out of the relegation zone, Everton, for starters?
I think for them losing or being deducted the 10 points have awakened them.
Yes.
And they're very lethal. If you see how they play, I saw that match when they played against in the midweek when they were playing, I can't remember which team, but I saw that game. The players are very energetic.
Yes.
Yesterday also.
Played against Newcastle.
Yeah, Newcastle, yes. And they were if you see them, they're moving the ball very fast.
Yes.
So I think they don't want to remain at the bottom, and their main goal is to move out of the relegation side. So, yeah.
Of course, being outside of the relegation, they are sitting at number 18.
Yeah.
I mean, sitting at number 17 with 13 points. And of course, Chelsea.
Yeah.
Chelsea now sitting at number 12. This is their seventh loss this season.
Yeah.
Of course, very high hopes for Chelsea at the beginning of the season with a new coach. What do you make? What happens to them now, having lost 7 matches? We are nearly halfway through the season, and still it seems like there is no hope for Chelsea to ever make something out of this season.
I had good hopes for Chelsea to perform very well, but they are disappointing me because they had bought like more than 11 players.
Yes.
So they have more than enough players to play with. So I don't know what is going on with the team. But I think the interference from the management, the owners, is what is affecting them right now. Also, they have not gelled well with the rest of the players, so the entire team is not gelled up. So I think we need to give them 2 more seasons for them to bring good results.
Do you think the American owners will give Pochettino that much time to turn the team around?
If they want results, let them give the Pochettino more time.
Yes.
So sacking him is not the best solution.
And we have 2 teams that had a very hot start and now seem to be not doing so well. We have Tottenham and Newcastle.
Yeah.
Because Tottenham winning 4-1 against Newcastle there. Are Tottenham going to make the top 4 with the way their season is going?
Yeah, I think so. Because Tottenham have been playing very well.
Yes.
But them that is Tottenham, Chelsea, and Newcastle. If I'm not wrong, they are mates. Let me say mates.
Yes.
In terms of them playing together. You see, this other team is beating the other one 4-1. When you go to the other, it's beating another team 4-1. So I think Tottenham are going to finish top 4 if they sign more players coming when the window opens in January.
As we conclude now, we're getting into the busy Christmas season.
Yeah.
And of course, somehow separates the boys from the men, the Christmas season. But immediately after that, we go into the transfer window.
Yeah.
Of course, what do you make of the transfer window? Who is going to be, given the money, given the assets that they have, the players that they have all across Europe, what do you think is it going to be a busy transfer window for the European market, or is it just going to be
for the top teams? I don't think they'll be very busy. If I can begin with Manchester United, I think most probably if they can sell 2 more players and they can buy 2 more players, it's not going to be busy. If you look at Chelsea, they're not going to sign more players because of the financial fair play. For maybe Man City will sign 2 or more or 3 players. Liverpool also, they're going to sign 2 or 3 players.
Yes.
But the likes of Nottingham Forest, they're not going to sign more players because of that financial fair play.
Looking at now, when you look at the title contenders being Liverpool and Arsenal, what do you think they have to do in the transfer market in order to push to make their title case stronger?
For me, I think if Arsenal need to win this league, they need to sign a very good striker. They need to have, I know they have been scoring goals, but they need to sign a good striker and maybe a defender, one defender. Yeah.
All right. Of course, we will be looking forward to the December period and through the Christmas period. Is this our last show, Richie, before the Christmas period, or will we be here next week?
We'll be here next week, maybe our final show. Then we see each other in January.
Of course, as we look forward to Jamhuri Day, which is tomorrow, the 12th of December.
Also, Manchester United is playing tomorrow. They're playing Bayern Munich.
Another thrashing on the way.
That is a final.
Another thrashing on the way. And of course, we wish all Kenyans and both locally and abroad a happy Jamhuri Day, happy Independence Day, and of course, that is the closing day for Kenya. Of course, what do you think? What do you, as we wind up, what are you thankful for throughout the year, Richie, as we celebrate?
For me, I want to thank God for giving us this opportunity to be here every Monday. Or maybe sometimes we are not here, but also all in all, I want to thank God. I want to thank all my colleagues, all the support, and my family also, my wife, my children. Yeah, I love you so much.
All right. That has been Pitchside. Oh, as I conclude, I am thankful for the opportunity to be on screen and to be able to bring you this sports show every Monday at 1:30 p.m. Of course, this is Pitchside on Hope TV. We hope to see you next week, same time and same place. Have a good week ahead.
Bye-bye.